Yes? Hello?
What do you mean, hello?
Oh, is that you, Light? I guess someone must have dropped this phone in all of the commotion earlier on.
He took it. Bastard.
Hello?
Yeah, that's Misa's cell phone you have. I can give it back to her.
No, I see. Sure, that makes sense.
Ryuga, he probably thinks he's pretty clever right now, but Misa has another phone he doesn't know about. I'll just call that one instead.
Oh. No, this time it's actually my cell phone. Yes? Yes, I see. So it's done then. I understand. I'm not exactly sure how you'll take this, but regarding Misa Amane, there's something you should know. We've taken her into custody under suspicion of being the second Kira.
How long has he known about Misa? I never thought he'd find her this quickly.
We gathered physical evidence from the envelopes that were sent by the second Kira. In particular, we recovered hairs and fibers from the masking tape used to seal them. They matched what we found in Misa's room. There would be a public uproar if it gets out that she's been apprehended as the second Kira. So officially, we've charged her manager with drug possession, and she's a voluntary witness. But I doubt any of this will get out.
Even if we don't plan on publicly acknowledging the notebook, the least we can do is execute the killer.
What are you thinking, Light Yagami? Making Misa kill again? She'll be caught, and once that happens, you'll also be... So that's what your plan is. You're truly disgusting. Light Yagami is certain that I will do anything to help Misa and save her life. And at this point, the only way for me to save Misa is to write Ryuzaki's real name in my notebook. And if I kill Ryuzaki, it would mean that I deliberately lengthened Misa's life, and I will die as well. Light Yagami has planned everything so that it will work out in his favor.
If we work this out, the entire case will be solved.
What is this? A blackout?
Watari? Watari! Where is the Shinigami?
Good question. I don't see it. Disappears? What's going on?
Everyone! The Shinigami!
What's wrong?
Alright, my boys, it's hot as fuck out, but this video is the superior human is the one that knows what you don't know. Become the superior human, right? So check it, right? Okay, to start off this video real quick, we all know that knowledge is power. The more you know, the more you grow. So in a hierarchy in life, the more that you do know about certain aspects, whether it's women, money, business, anything that you want to know, you become greater than a regular person, because everyone stops learning and stops acquiring knowledge after high school, and especially after college. After they graduate and they got the little certificate, ooh, this is my diploma, yada, 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 they stop learning and they stay stagnant. But the more books you read, the more information you find, the more knowledge you seek within podcasts, books, whatever it is, the more you'll grow, right? So that will make you a superior human. But I left that example of Death Note in the beginning, and hopefully they didn't take out my clips, because sometimes If I put an anime clip, they will block my whole video, which no one can see, right? But I'm gonna briefly explain it, right? So in the show Death Note, it's the main character. His name is Light Yagami, right? And you know what I'm saying? He grows up and he finds a notebook, right? He's going throughout his day, he finds a notebook, right? It's like this. And on the cover, it's called Death Note. And the moment he picked up that notebook, it was like a curse and a blessing at the same time, where the moment he picked up the notebook, he had gotten a demon with him, right? And it's a gift also, but it's not really a gift, but it's like, you know what I'm saying, in the show, it's like a gift where he has the power to write down someone's name, anyone's name, let's say John Stewart, then write down the way that person dies, and then he writes down the time of that person dying, right? So for example, John Stewart, he jumps off a cliff at 3:03 p.m. on this certain day, and it would happen, right? So that's his gift, right? So he sees it as a blessing where he goes around his way and is like, okay, I'm going to save the world. I'm going to kill all the bad people in jail for what they did and all sorts of things, right? So he starts writing down hella names of people. Even on the news, he'll just hear someone killed someone, or someone did this, or someone did that, something bad, or they robbed a bank or whatever. He will write down their name, a reasoning of death in a certain time, and that person will die, right? So eventually he's writing down names on top of names on top of names. He's killing everyone throughout Tokyo and shit. So they masked this guy's name as Kira, right? We know Light Yagami as Light Yagami, but now it's like the masked killer. Like they're trying to find out who this killer is. He put the mysterious name as Kira, the person who's killing everyone, right? And within this, right, as any country would, any association would, they hired the top tier people to go and find the killer, right? Simple as that. And obviously, just like America would, they will hire the FBI and then have some certain people in the headquarters to try to find how to find this killer, right? And they came across a guy, and the guy that they hired his name was L, but he went off a different name. But Light didn't know his name. He couldn't find his name because, you know what I'm saying, L knew to keep his name mysterious, because if Light found out his name, he would write that shit in a notebook and Kira will kill him. He doesn't know that Light is Kira yet, but he's he's dissecting shit. He's trying to discover who is Kira, and he goes across like Tokyo, and he like found a good amount of people, and he's watching people and shit, and he ties together a group of people who he would think would become Kira. And Light was obviously one of those people. I forget how, but Light ends up being one of the people that L starts to like try to dissect of like, yo, is this really Kira, or which one out of these motherfuckers are Kira, right? But he's so smart that he's like awkward, right? And this came into a point where I remember Andrew Tate told a story one time where he was playing chess as a kid and going against people, and you know what I'm saying, like at these chess tournaments, they are really weird. Like the people know so much that they're so smart that they're actually socially weird, socially awkward, the way that they carry themselves. They are so smart for their own good, right? They're blessed with being so smart that they're like kind of like, you know what I'm saying, they see the world for what it is and like times 10 of what like the average person like me and you would, right? They see the world as like something completely different. They don't want to speak. They don't even want to talk at all. Like they're just sitting there like a mute. They don't have like social skills or anything because they're just too smart for their own good. And that was kind of L, the character of L, where you become so smart that you are like the greatest of the greatest. And that's why knowledge is power. But when you're too smart, where you're like weird, you don't know how to function around people and shit because you're so smart for your own good, that's not what we want to be. We want to be just have enough knowledge and gain enough information for us to win in life, literally. And that's why I acquire a lot of my knowledge of like women, the game of women, the pimp game. That's the ism, right? And you know what I'm saying, just acquiring a lot of knowledge on business and, you know, money and YouTube so that I can win, right? So going back to L is like the socially awkward character where he's just like really weird in a way, but he's on Light Yagami's ass. Like he's really on him, right? So in the clip I left was, you know what I'm saying, Light was calling his other bitch, right? Some little bitch, but she had the same notebook as him, just with another demon following her. So they have the same notebook and they have the same abilities of writing down their names, of writing down people's names and getting them killed. So Light is like, he's the head of the chessboard. He's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers, but L's playing chess with him. Like it's a back and forth chess movement where L is actually blue and like Light is actually red. The chessboard is Light versus L at this point, right? So they're trying to counter each move to figure out how to win. And basically Light's objective is to kill L and to find his name. And L's objective is to find Kira and get Kira in jail, obviously, right? So this other girl comes around and she has the same power as Light. So Light is using her as his pawn because the girl loves him. She's tweaking over him, all sorts of things. He's using her as his pawn of like, okay, I could get some shit out of this bitch. Like, I can use her. And that's ism. That's real ism. And you know what I'm saying? So he meets up with the girl. They're talking, but like people are watching him. The cops are watching him. L is like the top of like the FBI. So he's like, everyone got like cameras on these people and shit like that. And Light tries to call the little bitch. And then it actually, L had met up with that girl, gave her a hug, and took both of her phones, right? So he calls the first phone, and L walks a few steps, and he's like, he playing stupid. He's like, hello? Who's this? Hello? And Light is like, fuck, this guy took her phone. What the fuck? Right? So then he ends the conversation. He's like, oh, give me the phone. I'm going to bring it back to the bitch. And Light calls the second phone, and L answers again. He took her phone. I started crying, right? Because it was the funniest thing in the world, because L checkmated him in that certain scenario. Like, L won that little scenario, right? And throughout the whole show, it's just a chess game of who knows what the other person doesn't know, and trying to win within the way of being smart, right? The more you know, the more you grow. This is what I'm saying, right? So at the end of the show, or the end of, like, not the show, end of, I believe, the season, L loses to Light, and Light actually kills L. But L already knew it. L was just, the thing with L was, he was at the same level as Light. You know what I'm saying? Which is, Light is Kira, but L's trying to discover who's Kira. L actually discovers that Light is Kira, and he just starts, like, at the end, he got checkmated and he dies, but he knew that Light all along was Kira. He just couldn't pinpoint it exactly. It was like he checkmated him at the end, where L ends up dying and Light ends up winning and shit like that, you know? And this ties all into you just being a smarter person than anyone else within this world. Not saying you're fucking socially awkward like a lot of these chess players and weird, but you just know things that don't nobody know about. This takes me into my aspect of my own life, where I can tell you guys about semen retention. I could teach you guys about manifestation. These are things that I'm really learning about. I could teach y'all about that ism, about the pimp and hoe game, where a pimp gets 25 bitches and they bring him money. Like, I found that so fascinating. I had to learn about that, right? And as I'm learning about this shit, right? Like, I just bought a book, a perfect example. I just bought a book on the ism. And basically, bro, it's just so fascinating that once you find out certain information and knowledge and you use it in real life, one, you see that it works. And two, you see that, like, you stand out amongst everyone. Like, everyone, right? Excuse me. Like, it's a completely different game when it comes to this, where you really know what other people really don't know. Like, they have no clue about this shit, right? So I'm reading this book, bro, and I'm fascinated with the shit. I'm like the rule books of the game, basically, of like rules to not to break and shit like that. And like I said, I'm plenty of videos I'm making at Patreon, so stay tuned for that. Stay real tuned for that. It's going to change your life like it changed mine with women. No funny shit. So as I'm following the rule book of the game and I'm reading this shit, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, yo, I'm just like, yo, no one knows this shit. Like, no one knows this shit at all. Only other people who practice this game, but that's like 1% to 2% of people max. I promise you. You will never find this information, right? So this is why this information needs to be sold and not told. I understand the game, right? So when I'm reading this shit and it talks about, like, just basically don't simp for women, you know what I'm saying? Control your dick, know how to move within the game of, like, the ism. You can see that everyone else, every other male in this world doesn't play the game the same way that these dudes play the game. You see what I'm saying? The game of women and shit. They just don't follow the same rule book. And I'm acquiring that rule book, and I'm realizing this shit throughout my life, throughout almost anything. You can find this throughout your job. You can find this going for a walk in the park of male and female nature, and you just see how different it is once you acquire this knowledge. It's fucking crazy, right? And my goal is to kind of want to, like, make like learning cool, because at one point I used to think like reading books and shit was so lame until I really picked up mad books on like the game of life and learning how to win within women, business, becoming a millionaire, manifestation, all sorts of things. You know what I'm saying? Rule books, manipulation, all types of shit. It's so much fucking fun. It really is. I want to make it more cool because it just helps you, because another YouTuber actually made learning way more cool for me. And the way that I see learning is just knowing something that really don't nobody know about. But once you acquire this knowledge, right? Just like those socially awkward people on the chessboard who knows, like, who are just too smart for their own good. You know things that don't nobody know about. And that makes you superior to them by default. It doesn't even have to be about physical force. That's like the second way of, like, you know, getting your way. But you don't lead within just like, you know what I'm saying, hurting people, because that's not a way to lead people through longevity. Like, for a long time, you're not just gonna keep hurting people, because by the end of the time, you're gonna find someone who can hurt you back. You dig what I'm saying? By brutal force. You don't make people move with brutal force. You make people move with your mind and knowing certain things that don't nobody know about. And like I said, with this information, you start to see that, like, yo, you are truly different. Like, not even trying to be like, yo, you're really different, yada, yada, yada. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm different. You know those groupies, right? I'm really saying, like, yo, you really become different when you understand this knowledge, especially about the ism and the male and female dynamics. It's crazy, because check this out, right? I stated in my last video that, like, what the fuck? I stated in my last video that, like, I went out to eat with, like, some people, and you know what I'm saying? Like, every guy that I kind of meet moves the same fucking way, where they're simping over these women, where they're putting these girls over pedestals and putting them over them. But in all reality, if you're the king, no one comes across the king. That's why I say I'm a king. And I tell y'all fucking kings, because these simps will put a girl over them all the fucking time. They think they have to take all of these girls onto dates. They think they got to take all of these girls out to go do certain things, pay them money to hang out, basically, buy them purses, pay expensive dinners. No. Let me spit a little bit about the game for you. If a girl like you, you can do whatever you want with her, and she don't give a fuck. She gonna follow you for you. I could take this bitch out to Burger King. If she likes me, she's going to stick with me no matter where I go or what I do. If she really likes you, choose the girl that likes you, not the one you like. You dig what I'm saying? That's a little bit about the game that, you know what I'm saying? I made a whole separate video on that on my Patreon. But that's what I'm saying. I don't follow the same rule books as every other guy putting these hoes on pedestals. Even if she's the baddest bitch now, I know not to ever put a girl over me, because I'm the greatest. I am one of the best. That's it. If I'm the king, it don't get no greater than me. You know what I'm saying? So no matter how beautiful it get with a girl and how she looks, I'm not going to simp over her. I'm going to see her as a girl. I'm going to think with my big head and not my little head. You dig? That's a different type of game that don't nobody know about. Because if once a regular guy see a regular little bitch, even little bitches, regular little 5, 6 out of 10s, they start tweaking and making her move and feel as if she's a 10 out of 10. That's why society got fucked up, because they're putting the 5 and 6 out of 10s on pedestals as if they were the 10 out of 10. That bitch ain't even the fucking, like, bare minimum. Like, to me, she's alright. But to them, they're glorifying these girls. And what that does, it makes the girl get like an ego. It makes them feel like, oh, okay, these guys really doing all of this. They paying all of this bread to come see me, to come chill with me, driving hours to come pick me up and shit like that. It puts her on a higher level of herself by default, because that man is treating her that way. Not saying you treat bitches like shit, but like I'm saying, like, the way he pedestals, like these guys pedestal these type of women is crazy. The 5 out of 10s and 6 out of 10s start to think like 10 out of 10s, all because of us men. That's the only reason. If you've seen her for what she is, as just a regular girl, a regular human being, you would never put her on a pedestal like that, no matter how beautiful she is. You know what I'm saying? If you can see past that, you will understand what I'm talking about. But go and talk to every other guy about women, or how to get women, what I gotta do. Let some square ass, bum ass, lame ass dude try to spit you some game. You go and then you know the knowledge that I know, where you reading books on the ism, where you really listen to podcasts about the pimp game and shit. Dissecting the game like how I do. I'm studying that shit. And it's crazy, because I know this shit, and I will never move like the average square. Kinda, again, once I acquired this knowledge, this shit was game changing. No funny shit, like within this regards of getting women shit. Game changing, where I got all the hoes, bro. It's been amplified times 5 after acquiring all of this knowledge. I've been studying for months now. It's crazy. I even bought a course on the ism type shit. I've understood it, so now I could really give y'all that fucking game. So stay tuned for that Patreon. It's gonna be different. But you know what I mean? That was just one level of me knowing something that don't nobody know about within women. Thinking I'm about to simp over these bitches like the regular guy. Fuck out of here. No, sir, not me. Check this out. You know what I'm saying? Another aspect that we know something that don't nobody really know about. A perfect example, if you follow me from a lot of my semen retention videos, we know all the benefits. I've gave y'all all the information, a lot of the information that I experienced and that other greats, you know what I'm saying, use their sexual energy and, you know, holding their seed to become great. And I dissected the game within the books I've read. And I'm giving you that knowledge that it's really real. But then there's still that other side of people who don't think it's real, who doesn't understand using their sexual energy to become truly great. They don't understand it. That's cool. Stay in your lane. For all the other guys who are simps and everything like that, the game is supposed to be sold and not told. So if you want to get better with women, I will teach you it. But you have to pay the fee. You see what I'm saying? It has to be sold, not told. So for semen retention, that's not something you really pay for information about, really. But I gave y'all all the information for free. And semen retention actually goes in with the ism and becoming like, you know what I'm saying, a Mac or a player or a pimp, whatever you want to be. It goes and ties into that game too. Because you got to think with your big head, not your little head. Meaning stop thinking with your dick and start thinking with your brain. You know what I'm saying? But that's for the Patreon too. But like going back to the part with semen retention, we know things that don't nobody know about. So if they try to hinder you, a lot of people will think you're weird for holding your seed. But there's a lot of spiritual practices that you can do as well. That comes from semen retention as well. You know what I'm saying? You really becoming a great man, becoming stronger. Don't nobody know about that. They will think you're weird because you're not fucking bitches like everyone else. Just like these brain dead rappers all talk about fucking bitches and this, that, and the third. Or not. And more times than not, these dudes actually pay for a lot of pussy. Like, I done heard Lil Baby paid like $15,000 to fuck a bitch. Like, you, bro, it's not even that he's a millionaire. That's nothing to him. It's just the core level of the game of like, I ain't paying a bitch for shit. You crazy. They giving that shit for free. You think I'm paying her the fee to fuck her? She got to pay the fee to fuck with me. You dig what the fuck I'm saying? You flip the game backwards. And you move as a powerful king within your life. Stay tuned for that Patreon. But I'm telling y'all, like, you know things and you can't even understand. But like, as now that I'm starting to understand things and really get the knowledge that I need, I'm really seeing it. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I read that book yesterday. And I'm damn near almost done. That's how in tune I was with that book, bro. I read like 60 pages in one day. No funny shit. And I'm like, yo, this shit right here is a fucking rule book to follow for the game, to teach you more about women. You know what I'm saying? And that knowledge has to be paid for. I understand it thoroughly because it actually changes your life. It's crazy. So with the semen retention shit, don't nobody know what you know. They can hate on you. They can laugh at you. Oh, you're not fucking bitches like everyone else is or whatever. Just like more society. Everyone wants to fuck bitches, but they still don't get no pussy because they value that shit so much. Look at all these guys chasing bitches. Even the dudes, the real players that I know in real life that don't know what I know. Like, I know people who really fuck bitches on the day in and the day out, and that's where they get their power from fucking bitches. But they're broke. You know what I'm saying? That's a big thing, but they're broke. Oh, they can say, well, I fuck bitches. You get a nut off, and you know what I'm saying? It's a hookup and one night stand, and you're consistently just fucking regular ass bitches. And you think you get your power, your steeds, or you really get your confidence from fucking bitches? That's lame. The ism will teach you something different. But the semen retention shit, they don't know what we know. They don't know that you get female attraction, or they don't know that you get you know what I'm saying, this endless desire to want to accomplish your goals. They don't know this shit. They don't know that you become basically more of a man. You become a greater version of yourself on semen retention. Cool. If they don't know that, fuck them. Fuck them. Because one thing I've learned too, that I had to swallow this pill, was people won't value the information that they tell you. That's why they will value the information that I tell them on the ism if they pay the fee. If they pay for it, then that's when they acquire the knowledge and they actually take it within themselves. If people get shit for free, they don't care. They don't value things that they get for free. But if they paid for it, that's when they value it. That's how human beings work. That is ism. So You know what I mean? I make these videos to get you more knowledge, more game, more power within yourself to become a greater human being. That's my main purpose of making these videos. Because as I'm growing, I want other people to grow with me. You know what I'm saying? So the more you know, the more you grow. If you want to learn about anything, go pick up a book about it. Go read and listen to about it, or listen to podcasts about it. I've been listening to so many podcasts about like manifestation and shit like that. It's so real. It's crazy once you understand the knowledge. But beforehand, I used to laugh at people who be like, oh, I manifest this or I manifest that. You know what I'm saying? I used to think it was stupid. I used to think it was kind of gay. Like, ooh, I manifest $1 million. Like, no. But once you understand and attain and acquire that knowledge, you start to see what they're talking about, because now you know what they're talking about. But beforehand, I had zero idea of what manifestation was. I would just flame them for it because, oh, I manifest $1 million or yada yada yada. I would flame people for it, or like on Instagram when I see a clip of someone like, I manifest this or whatever. I kind of thought you were like gay or kind of weird just thinking that. But then once I acquired the knowledge and I read a book on manifestation and I'm listening to these podcasts and it talks about self-affirmations, writing down your plans, already thinking that you already have it, knowing that you are going to acquire whatever you have, just knowing it. I already know I'm gonna be a millionaire. I done told you guys this in so many videos. I'm going to be a millionaire, not a question. Smooth, just like that. I already know what's going to happen. It's just, it is what it is. Acquiring that knowledge is what made me fucking powerful. This what makes me stand out amongst the crowd, and I cannot share it to everyone because not everyone understands it. You go and have a conversation with these regular people, they won't understand this shit. They're down here and you're up here. You're trying to feed people things from up here to down here without them paying a fee. The only time they care about it is when they pay that fee. That dollar bill goes up to here, then that's when they want to acquire that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So the more you truly know is the more you truly grow. And that, going back to that point with the awkward motherfuckers on the chessboard, they're really awkward. They're awkward as fuck because they know so much that you don't fucking know. It's crazy. Those motherfuckers are weird, but they just know so much that they don't even want to talk to you because you're just like a lower being in a way. But in a way, we see them motherfuckers as like, yo, you's a weird motherfucker. But they just probably think like, yo, you are a retarded motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you's an Ed motherfucker. Like, I can't even break down a conversation with you. They're all thinking in their mind. They don't even say nothing. Just like in the Light Yagami and Death Note and, you know, the L situation. They're posing. They're having the poker face. And they're not letting each other see each other's emotions. But they're thinking of ways to move on the chessboard to, like, counteract each other. And L actually was so close of beating Light, but Light was just 10 toes and he knew what he was doing. But at the end, Light actually went out like a sucker. I ain't gonna cap. But you know what I mean? The more you grow, the more you know, the more you grow. It's as simple as that, bro. So I love y'all, bro. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, bro. And I'm gonna leave my last video right here for you guys. So if you ain't catch up on that, go watch that video. More game for your fucking brain. And I'm making that Patreon, like I said. So, you know what I'm saying? If you want a one-on-one consultation, I'm going to leave it in the description below. So, stay yourself. Stay 300. Whatever you do in life. Trust me, I believe in you, bro.